So I have a clip of Donald Trump when he announced to the world what he did to Iran. You know, he doesn't sound like a president. He sounds like a little kid trying to show how big his ego is. It's really insane. And lawmakers on both sides were speaking out because they were in negotiations. Then all of a sudden he does this. They know he has the attention span of a gnat and that he changes his mind at the flip of a coin, which is not what you want in a president. You want someone who's consistent, who actually thinks before they act, and that is not him. That's why he should always involve Congress, especially with acts of war. And I'm sorry, if you bomb another country, that is an act of war. They could retaliate. He doesn't know what they're going to do. I'm sure he just pissed them off. And of course, we don't want them to have nuclear weapons, but it should have been an organized attack with Congress involved, because then you knew it wasn't insane and it was actually planned. He doesn't know what that means. And when a Republican congressman spoke out, his answer was, the MAGA movement doesn't want you. That sounds like a cult, like a disgusting regime. Their whole thing is so wrong. They act like they're what it is, and if you're not, then you're not involved, or you're not allowed to be involved. Sorry, that's not how a constitutional republic or a democracy, which we are both, do. Check out these clips. I'm embarrassed.
Carried out massive precision strikes on the three key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raising-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
And then is at the White House with reaction. Willie James.
Jerika, good evening to you. We didn't see the president today, but in a social media post, he called the damage to Iran's nuclear sites monumental. As the White House says, now is the time for peace.
The Trump administration spent the day defending the president's strikes on Iran.
We're not at war with Iran. We're at war with Iran's nuclear program.
The administration still leaving the door open for diplomacy, but saying the strikes were necessary.
This wasn't a regime change move. This was designed to degrade and/or destroy 3 nuclear sites related to their nuclear weaponization. What happens next will now depend on what Iran chooses to do next.
Republicans largely praised the attack, but many Democrats and some GOP lawmakers say Congress should authorize military action.
Congress needs to be notified, not after the fact, but in advance. We were not.
We haven't been briefed. They should have called us all back. And frankly, we should have debated this war powers resolution that Ro Khanna and I offered instead of staying on vacation and doing fundraisers.
In a social media post, the president blasted Representative Thomas Massie, saying the MAGA movement doesn't want him. This